Hey guys, welcome to another Jamaican video, a Jamaican living in Germany. Now in this video I have great news to share with you. It's kind of old news, but it's still great news anyways, that I completed my master's in computer science a couple months ago, but last year, and that's what I want to tell you all about my journey doing my master's in computer science in Germany. One of the main reasons I decided to come to Germany was to do my master's, and I talked about this extensively in another video, so you can check it out and find out exactly why I decided to do that. But to summarize, it was so that I could pursue my studies here, to expand my horizons, to develop as a person, travel the world, and just to create new memories. Getting to this point was not as easy as I thought it would be, and it was definitely a roller coaster experience. And I think it's usual, you have your imagination of how things are going to go, but then usually it's a complete opposite, and that's exactly what happened in my case. So Germany was the place I selected because, for one, there is free education here, and I thought, yeah, what better place to be than in the center of Europe so that I can just fly to everywhere else. And looking back at the past couple of years of doing my master's, of being a student, it has been one of the most exciting periods of my life, because within these years I have grown, I've experienced so many different things, I've learned so many things about myself, about the world, about other people, other cultures, and it's just been a crazy roller coaster of experiences, of emotions as well. I kind of got off to a rough start. So this was all the way back in 2017 when I started my master's. And of course, with big hopes and, thinking, yeah, everything is going to be awesome. Yeah, went through the first semester, signed up for, I think, maybe like 6 or so courses. And then at the end of the semester, you have to register for the exams that you wanted to do. And I thought, yeah, they're oral examinations, so it shouldn't be that challenging. I can do 3 of them within 2 weeks. While I was preparing for these exams, I recognized that that's not true. I recognized it was much more challenging, it was much more demanding than I thought. Just going through the material for 6 courses, 6 master's courses within 2 weeks, it was really challenging. And the first exam I passed it, but I wasn't very happy about the result because it wasn't that great. This really developed a fear in me for examinations, which kind of continued throughout my program, where it's I was afraid to do the exam, so I was always procrastinating, pushing it off to the next semester. It wasn't like I was just sitting at the university not doing anything. I was working on other things because I loved, for example, seminars and the different projects, the practical projects that we worked on. Those things I find to be much more exciting than an examination. It wasn't just always my fault, because then scheduling these exams was sometimes a challenge because of the availability of the professors, or even doing courses, for example. Sometimes I remember there was one semester where pretty much most of the courses that I wanted or that I was interested in doing just got cancelled. To this day, I don't know why that happened, but it just happened. So that was also a setback. Apart from that, another challenge was, of course, getting back into the student life. Now, I was working for 3 or 4 years after doing my bachelor's. And so coming back to the university and then requiring all these fundamental concepts that I forgot or that I didn't learn correctly, that also was another challenge, because then even before I could understand what the professor was talking about in front of me, I had to be pretty much reading through an entire book just so that I could, refresh the fundamentals. These are some of the things that kind of prevented me from accomplishing it within the scheduled time. Now, the program is supposed to be 2 years, but on average, especially for international students, it's 3 years, 3.5 years, sometimes, yeah, much longer than that, because these factors that I shared are not just factors for me, but they're factors for a lot of international students. And coupled with the pressure of living in another country and having to deal with all the other different things, you can just imagine how stressful that can be sometimes. Despite all of that, I was always a bit uncomfortable about it, that I was taking this long to complete my master's, where I'm it's a 2 years program, why am I still doing it 3 years later? It's a 2 years program, why is it almost 4 years? It's a 2 years program. I felt bad about it, that somehow maybe I wasn't smart enough, that's why I wasn't pushing along the way that I should. Thankfully, I learned how to deal with that, and I recognized that, yeah, what's a rush really? Because when I just came here, my thing was, yeah, 2 years, that's the time I want to get my master's done and get out there working. I don't even know what I wanted to do after those 2 years, but the main thing was that I wanted to be done quickly. And at some point I started thinking to myself, why am I rushing? Like, what am I rushing to do? Because yeah, I'm a student, but it's not like I was sitting around not doing anything. I was active in the university doing different things. I had a part-time job, and apart from that, doing the things that I love, I was learning and growing as a person, which were the most important things. At some point I just like got rid of that extra pressure that I was putting on myself. Not that I wasn't trying to finish, I mean, that was always a priority, because I'm a goal-oriented person and I can't get away from that no matter what I do, where it's like, if there's something to be done, I want it to be done, and I'm most likely gonna bound it to some amount of time so that I can keep motivated, which is not a bad thing. But yeah, the thing is, it has to be balanced. You can't be like so relaxed that you just go through aimless, and you shouldn't be pushing yourself so hard that, you know, you're just creating additional pressure and just making yourself miserable. I have absolutely no regrets, because those were 4 amazing years. Those were 4 years of, I don't even have the words to describe what those 4 years did for me. It's exactly what I wanted and much more than what I expected. Coming to this country, I had big expectations, and those 4 years definitely exceeded those expectations. It's with mixed feelings that I end this phase of my life of being a student, because I loved being a student. At the university was a semester ticket, like this ticket you just travel across the entire state. Like, that's the number one thing that I missed, this mobility, just jumping on a train and decided, okay, you know what, I just want to go to a city that's like 200, 300 kilometers away. And of course, the friends and the different events at the university. One of the things I enjoyed the most about the university was this international environment that I found myself in, because I was active in the International Students Club. I would help, for example, to organize different events, and most times I was kind of the photographer at these events. That was something that I really enjoyed, because then through that I was able to more or less learn more about photography, and also like to meet different people and so on. After my first semester, I started working. I had a part-time job working at this company that was pretty much aligned with my studies. Even through this job, I was able to participate and to even publish a few papers, like research papers and stuff. That also built the foundation for the next step of actually finding a job as well. You know, sometimes you should just live, just go with it, and don't beat up yourself when you're not going, you know, following the timeline that you set for yourself or that others set for you. Because if we're honest, sometimes we don't necessarily want to, you know, push ourselves that hard. It's just because people expect us to. I will definitely miss being a student, because as I often say, the difference with being a student and working is, like, as a student, you have time, but you have no money. But when you start working, you have money, but then you don't have time. I prefer to have time, because when you have time, then you can do so many different things, and that's the number one thing I miss about being a student, is like this free time that you had. Especially like in the summer holidays, where you could like pretty much just go abroad for 2-3 months and it wouldn't be a problem. This piece of paper definitely means a lot. I worked really hard to get it, and there were moments when I felt like I just wanted to give up. There were moments I was like, I can't be bothered. I just want to be done with it. And I'm just so happy that through all the challenges, through all the happy moments, through all the stressful moments, through all those moments where I felt so dumb, and even those moments where I felt so smart, for all those moments where I didn't even sleep for the entire night because I had to work on different things. It's like, it's definitely good to see this piece of paper and to know that I stepped out of my comfort zone. I left my country and I came to this place to pretty much start over, new language, new culture and everything. And this paper means a lot, because it somehow doesn't just say that I accomplished a master's degree. It means like I accomplished one of my biggest goals, one of the biggest challenges that I set for myself. The interesting thing is that when I got it, it didn't mean that much, because I was When I saw it was when I came back to Germany for like after a long time, and then I left Germany like a day later. It didn't even sink in my head that I actually have a degree. And it's like looking at it now and talking about it, and while preparing for this video and reflecting on it, like wow, closing this chapter with a lot of mixed feelings, wishing I could continue, but yeah, life has to go on, right? Well, who knows? Maybe I'll work on the doctorate, or who knows, maybe like another master's in something else. But for now, I can definitely be happy. I did it. I have my master's in computer science with an emphasis or concentration in software engineering. Worked hard for it, ended with a pretty good grade. Like I thought it would be way worse. It's been an amazing experience, and I'm just grateful for all the people that supported me. I'm grateful for like God, just how he helped me through it, because there were many times like I really had to pray to make it through this thing. I'm so thankful for the friends and the family members that I had that have supported me along the way, to encourage me and to support me and to tell me that yeah, you can do it. It definitely means a lot to know that people actually trust and believe that you can accomplish something. This isn't just for me, but this is also for all those people that supported me and they believed in me. I guess this is kind of my graduation video, because I didn't have a graduation ceremony. Thank you, Corona. This is my way of saying, yeah, it's done. It's a couple months later, because technically I finished everything last February, and I finally got the actual certificate in June, and now I'm in January 2022. I'm doing a video about it, but hey, better late than never. But yeah, it's done. Super happy, super thankful. And now it's on to the next phase.